Hello, everyone. I am here with Alex Zimmer. She is an Alpha Chi alumni. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Panhellenic system and what women empowerment is. So, Alex, how would you overall say that your experience at Florida Southern as a sorority woman was?
It was really good. I think that people had a lot more of a positive idea of what it was to be someone in Greek life when we went to Florida Southern. We kind of had more of an image of being leaders and being people who cared for causes rather than being people who kind of just were trying to lag off or trying to party all the time.
Yeah.
I think people think of Greek life at bigger schools as being a lot more problematic, as having behavioral issues, having problems with hazing, partying, drinking, things like that. I know I work with people who have done Greek life at much bigger schools, and they have actually been active members of Greek life when they were disbanded and when they were put on probation. So I think that you would, like, a lot of people see that image because that's what's really prevalent in the news, whereas at Florida Southern, we didn't really have that problem.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think women empowerment is?
I think it's encouraging women to go out and do whatever they want to do with their lives, whether that is being a CEO of a Fortune 500 company or whether that is being a stay-at-home mom. I think it's just really encouraging people to do what makes them happy and what fulfills them in life.
Yeah.
I think our Panhellenic Council was really good at making sure we kept our standards high for our behaviors. They were really good at keeping us accountable, sure that we were following the rules and understanding the rules were in place, especially when it comes to things like recruitment or big gatherings where we're just really prominent in the public eye.
Yeah, for sure.
I think for the most part, Panhellenic did a really good job with, communicating those kinds of ideals with us, but I think there were things that between members of Greek life could have been communicated more, especially the why behind why we had certain standards and rules in place, because it's really easy when you just are given a rule to kind of try and toe the line because you don't really understand the importance of it, and because it seems more like an inconvenience than something that is beneficial in the long run. So I think if the purpose behind some of the rules were communicated a little more clearly and a little more concisely, especially like amongst the entire Panhellenic community, not just based upon whether or not the sister in a particular sorority was communicating that ideal from Panhellenic. If there had been more of a even distribution of information, it might have been better.
Yeah. Are there any rules that you maybe would disagree with or would change in some way?
That's tough to say because I think that a lot of the rules that Panhellenic put in place were really important and they did serve a greater purpose, especially with, making sure that dirty rushing wasn't a problem and that PNMs were being treated as people and not just potential new members. I think that those rules are really important. I do think some of them make it extremely difficult to really get to know people sometimes, but for the most part, I think they really make sense. And as far as Panhellenic is concerned, I think they were all pretty good rules to have.
Yeah.
I think it's for theory. I think it's a little less good in practice. I understand the concept of it, and I think what it is trying to do is really good, but there are certain instances where it's extremely difficult to be in a situation, and then if you accidentally are outnumbering someone and you're suddenly like, I gotta ditch, I can't be here anymore because it's against the rules, I feel like that's it kind of complicates the interaction and it can make it a little difficult. I think also as far as the rules about driving, I think that can be a little excessive sometimes. My best friend was a PNM because we went through recruitment together when I was a sophomore and she was a freshman, and she did not join a house freshman year, and she went through again in her sophomore year, and it was extremely complicated for the fact that I could not hang out with her with another Alpha Chi sister, and I couldn't necessarily have her drive me places if we wanted to go to like dinner together or something like that. And you can't, my little was an RA in a freshman hall, so having that kind of thing where you can't go into freshman places unless you're an RA is just, the concept behind it and the theory of it is really good, but the practice of it is extremely like frustrating.
Yeah.
I think the Panhellenic system is really good about encouraging us to all like support sororities panhellenically and not just encouraging us to support within our own community. I think it's really easy to get wrapped up in your own sorority and what your own sorority is doing and want to hype them up. We see it a lot with like philanthropy events, especially in the philanthropy weeks where you have a lot of support or people are showing you support, but that isn't always shown back. But I think Panhellenic does a really good job of trying to kind of spread the wealth in a sense and encourage us all to support each other through our philanthropy weeks and like our big visible events. I think little things that Panhellenic does also helps encourage that, like doing pan postcards and pan pen pals, if that was like ever a thing. I think anything that really encourages us to see past our own like letters and start to see a little more of who we are as people is really good for women's empowerment and building that kind of community and solidarity to help us encourage each other.
Yeah. As an alumni, what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen over the year? Good, bad, neutral?
Was kind of a crazy change. I do really appreciate it though, because since I did go through recruitment as a sophomore, I never would have gone through as a freshman. I never even thought about it until I saw how Greek life was. And so that's kind of really beneficial to PNMs wanting to go through the process. I think it helps ensure that they get to know people more before they really make that commitment to joining a house. And it gives them an opportunity to like really see what it's about and not just like all the showy stuff that comes along with recruitment, like all the lights and all the cute clothes and all that stuff. They see really emotional and vulnerable events, like Alpha Chi has really emotional philanthropy events that helps people to know us and what we stand for. A lot of other sororities do too, Gamify, and with their Girls on the Run and doing all that stuff, Zeta's breast cancer awareness. I think all of it is really a really good change and giving that opportunity to people to see it and still be able to experience their sorority for an extra semester. They can do that in their freshman year and not have to wait until they're a little older and seeing it through that kind of stuff.
So with IFC, the guys can get multiple bids. They can get bids from like every fraternity if they... Do you think that girls should also be able to have multiple bids and have more of that option?
That's kind of a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something really special in the sorority bid process and it being like Christmas and all that stuff. But I do, like, I've seen people be heartbroken by it as well. I think that there might be something beneficial there. I honestly can't say if I think that's something that should happen. I didn't even know that was a thing Pratt can do, so I'm a little put on the spot by it.
You're fine.
I think it'd be nice if there are, if there are houses showing multiple, like if there are multiple houses showing interest in one person and them having that option to pick what's best for them. But I think the process that's currently in place is really good at preparing people up where they will be really at home. I think it would be beneficial to have more of an option of whether or not you go, because if you really know that that's not where you belong, it's really kind of awkward to go to parties and to do that, especially if you get pressed by a house that's not necessarily any place you would ever think that you would want to go.
Oh, for sure.
I think if you're going through it for the right reason and you're going through it like knowing who you are as a person and what you want to get out of it, you're going to end up where you want to be, options that you can kind of get swamped in. And I think that every house is really unique, so there's kind of something there for people of all different mindsets and different wants and needs from the process. So I think if you're going through it really sure of what you're looking for in a sisterhood and what you're looking for in your organization and your values and everything are aligned, you're going to end up where you will be best suited.
What did you want in sisterhood when you went through recruitment, and do you feel like you got that?
Yeah, I really wanted to go find somewhere where it was somewhere that was focused on service and really focused on our own personal growth. And I kind of went through already really knowing that I wanted to join Alpha Chi, and that was through seeing people beforehand and like getting to watch them through my freshman year and then go through as a sophomore. I kind of already knew that that's the house that I wanted to join, because their values were in line with mine. They had a lot of care for philanthropy and service in the community, and that was something that was really important to me. And also it was a house of just really driven people who wanted a lot out of life and weren't afraid to go for it. And that was really inspirational and really exciting.